Hey winners, Kevin Ward here. I had a great question emailed from one of you about farming. And the question is this: I'm considering starting a geographic farm, and we've been taught we should start a farm, a geographic farm, as soon as possible when we start real estate. But he also came across some other videos and stuff that said farming is a total waste of time. Why is that? It's old school. It seems that every top producer has a farm and it works really well. What's your opinion? So let me talk a little bit about geographic farming. And first of all, here's what farming is. Farming is where you consistently market in one way or another to a group of people consistently over time. Now, geographic farm then means you have a geographic neighborhood or group of neighborhoods or a market area that you then consistently touch them either through direct mailings or door knocking or phone calls, block parties, events, or any combination of those. And that's what would be considered geographic farming. Now, there's all different kinds of farming. There's demographic farming, where you actually target a specific group of people. It may be absentee homeowners. It may be first-time home buyers. Somebody may farm to high-end apartment complexes looking for first-time buyers and so forth. There's a lot of some people may target a strictly one ethnicity. For example, if somebody's from Asia and they speak Chinese or they speak Korean, they may target the Korean community or whatever. And that may be a type of demographic farming. Some people target people that have owned their home for a certain number of years or more. There's a company called SmartZip out there that they help you identify the 20% of homeowners in a specific geographic area that are most likely to sell their home next in the next 12 months. And they've figured out statistically the different key indicators that show that somebody is more likely to sell their house, how long they've lived in the house, how much they own it, and so forth. And it's data that they then research, and they've created these algorithms or these formulas where they make that prediction, and then you pay to have them provide you that top 20% list in a demographic area. Some people say it works great, some people say it doesn't work that good, but it's all strategic in figuring out, okay, if I want to get into more business, how do I strategically touch people in a way that's going to happen? Now, my biggest recommendation on farming is that your personal circle is the ultimate farm for you. Your personal circle is people you already know, and it's not based on geography as much as it's based on relationship. And relationship is how you bridge the trust gap. Relationship is how you get them becoming your word-of-mouth marketing machine and so forth. So any type of farming strategy that is based on a group of people that is not based on a relationship. In other words, it's not because I know them already. It's because they live in a certain area or a certain type of area, or they fit a certain profile. Then I'm going to target them over and over again. So here's the pros and cons of farming. Number one, it is slow response. It's not a source of immediate business typically. Now, there can always be an immediate, like you hit it lucky and you get one deal right away. But it just in terms of generally, it's going to be a slow response method of marketing. It typically is going to take you 12 months before you're going to get any real traction. Now, Gary Keller has taught a 8x8 campaign when you first start marketing to somebody you don't know or somebody you do know, that you literally touch them 8 different times in 8 weeks in a row. So over a 2-month period, every week they've heard from you, either by mail or an email, a phone call, a personal visit, whatever it is, or any combination of those, that in 8 weeks you have created what we call top-of-mind awareness, that they actually know exactly who you are, and when they think of real estate, you're the first person that pops into their brain, and you can literally create the perception of being the real estate expert in a neighborhood in an 8-week period by just bombarding them with contact, with information, touching them and so forth. And that's called an 8x8 program, which is pretty effective. And then after that, you go into maybe what's called a 12 direct, which means once a month at 12 times a year, then you're touching them with a combination of either mailers or things that you drop by and give them, door knocking, phone calls, emails, whatever approach that you want, whatever combination of those that you use. Again, there's expense, typically time and expense involved in doing that. If you're mailing out stuff, depending on what you're mailing, there can be significant expense. So it tends to be lower profitability because I'm spending a lot of money nurturing an area And the reality is most of the people in that area are never going to give you business. Now, again, does that mean you shouldn't do it? No, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It's just more of a passive approach to getting business. So the reason you hear people say you shouldn't do it and it's a waste of time is because it's typically a slow response, passive approach. What makes it work is consistency, number one, and number two is personal contact. So things that you send in the mail, if you want to make their effectiveness higher, literally you probably quadruple the effectiveness of any mailing if it's followed up by personal connection, phone call or face-to-face visit. That's where the power is. That's where the relationship is connected. Because when you just send something to the mail in somebody, it's junk mail. And if you do it over and over and over again, then they may get used to your junk mail, and then they may get to where they actually recognize you. But again, that may take 12 to 24 months before that recognition happens. So it's one of those long-term processes that you do. That's where farming works in terms of effectiveness, is over that long period of time. And a lot of people want to find a passive way to get business without having to face rejection, which means I would rather do that than prospect, talk to people I don't know, face the fear of rejection and so forth. Then you can do it. It's just very, very slow. And most new agents would go broke and starve before they can get business from that. So what you do is you build your business by prospecting, by talking to people. This is still a talk to people business. So even if you get a phone call or happen to get a lead from something you mailed out, you're still going to have the skills of how to convert, ask the right questions, qualify them, build that connection, build that trust, and do the lead follow-up necessary to actually get the appointment, and know how to actually do a quality listing presentation or a buyer consultation to help identify and convert them into a client, and then be able to service them and help them get a house. So the skills that are required to prospect are really the same skills that are required to convert at a high level people that you get through any farming type strategy. Now you see people that are doing online farming, i.e. Facebook and Twitter, where your social media, your social networking, and in a sense, they're using that as a part of their farming strategy. And again, it's not a right or wrong, does it work or does it not work? It all works. It just is how well it works and how long does it take to work, and does it fit into your marketing strategy. So if you're trying to use geographic farming in solo, that's going to be a slow one. It's a slow go. My preference, or what I strongly recommend is the best approach, is any kind of conversations that you create, any kind of connections you create. One, if you're doing the slow approach of marketing or farming, you've got to build personal connection. And the goal is to move them from being somebody you don't know and they just get stuff from you, to being somebody you do know and have a personal relationship with in a business sense in your personal circle. That doesn't mean you go over to their house and eat dinner, or your buddies and you hang out and watch football games. It just means that they now know you and trust you and think of you as their agent. And that's the goal of all of this, is to create a way that the people that you connect with become for you your word of mouth marketing machine. Because ultimately the best marketing on the planet is word of mouth marketing. And whenever I've got that relationship and that trust, and they're calling me saying, hey, I found somebody, they're needing to sell their house, and you've stayed in touch with me, and and so forth, and I just wanted to give you a call and let you know. So that's the goal of how that happens. It's not a right or wrong. You have to figure out your time frames. Are you willing to stay in the game and do it consistently? Is it fit your budget model? Are you going to run out of money before, and then quit on it? If that's the case, don't do it. Okay, one of the very simple principles of success in business is make money before you start spending money, and learn the skills of converting business by prospecting, by talking to people, before you start trying to buy business. Because basically marketing, whether it's neighborhood marketing, geographic farm, or billboards, or bus benches, or buying leads on the internet, all of that is buying the business. Is it right or wrong? Does it work? Does it not work? It all works. Nothing right or wrong about it. It's just a matter of effectiveness and profitability and time. So you've got to kind of look at all of that. And that's why I suggest that everybody, every day, if you want to grow your business, that you spend time every day lead generating by prospecting, by talking to people. People you know, that's the first and most important. And then people you don't know, if the people you do know is not going to give you enough business to reach your goals and to allow you to keep growing to reach those goals. So farming works. There's opportunity everywhere. If you're going to play the game, though, you got to play it to win every day. So there's opportunity out there. Engage that opportunity, play to win, and always expect yes.